Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Oswego Blizzards Dynasty of Happy Williams' career as we are back at home, and this time we are going to be taking on another Tier 4 foe in South Alabama. Now, South Alabama, they are a very good team in Tier 4. They are the leaders right now of the independents and really looking to be the team that is going to be earning the promotion right now, as there is a three-way battle right now amongst the Tier 4 teams, and South Alabama really looks like they're going to be the ones that are going to be taking that promotion. So we will be seeing how good this team actually is, and based off of the overalls, they definitely look to be pretty dang good. They have some very solid players and some very good players. Overall, they are in the 70s, which, it's low, but not low for us. But their defense has some really strong players ready to go. Now, Thomas Mayo was banged up at the end of the last game, so he is going to be sitting out this game. Hopefully he'll be back for the Notre Dame game, but we will see what happens there. Also, on top of that, we're with Marcelo Mobley and Timmy Flanagan. We're going to be using a run-pass switch decision. So if there is going to be a pass, we will be using Timmy Flanagan. If we're going to be using a run, we will be using Marcelo Mobley to try and utilize their strengths just a little bit more and trying to really figure out how to run this offense to try and finish this season out. Going up against a Tier 4 team, we have done pretty well in games against Tier 4 teams. Let's see how we do in this one. Oswego lost the toss, but we still get what we want by receiving this ball, and that they are going to let that bounce for a touchback. As we are playing the last home game of this season, Happy Williams looking on at the few seniors we do have on the team, and we start strong with that run. Blake Cross picking up 11 yards on that one. That is a great start for a team that does not start well on first downs. That was a great start. Marcelo Mobley should have kept that one, instead pitching it out to Obi Hopkinson. We are going to lose 4 yards on the play. Probably should have kept that one. Probably would have gained just a little bit of yards there. Marcelo Mobley with the keeper on this one, breaking free. He's going to go pick up 9 yards on the play. That is a good run by him, setting up a nice 3rd and 5. We have lots of options on 3rd and 5 here, and Marcelo Mobley's going to keep this one. He's going to pitch it out to Obi, and he is going to be brought down for 2 yards. He had some space there. 4th down and 4. Great start so far. Might as well go for it. Timmy Flanagan in the game because it is a passing play, and that is not going to be completed on that one. Unfortunate start on that one. We had very good runs on that one, except for just the first down play. Now, South Alabama will start on their first drive, and we will see how many plays it takes for them to score a touchdown, as that is something Oswego will do in the games. And LaDamian Webb, he is off to a great start so far, that one being a 14-yard rush, being brought down by Walters, the safety. And that one could have been a touchdown on that one. Webb being tripped up and gaining 10 yards on the play. Probably wished he could have gotten that touchdown instead. Now Bradley is going to keep this one, and he is going to walk into the end zone as we key up on Webb, and that is going to give South Alabama a 7-0 lead to start the game. And that's an upset. Upset for the Big Ten, that Tier 2. That's a big-time upset. Joplin losing a bunch of games right now. They could be losing that promotion chance. Not sure what happened to them on that season. but that 5 for 20 for their quarterback is not good. Check that one out. Navy beating Notre Dame. That is a team we're going to be facing in our last game of the season in Notre Dame. Navy getting a big-time win, helping their promotion chances. That should give them that second-place spot right now, as long as, and if South Alabama slips up, that would give them the promotion spot. After that 26-yard return, Marcelo Mobley is going to go back to pass, trying to trick up the defense a little bit there, but that is going to be falling incomplete as it found no one on the play. Now, Obi Hopkins gets a run here. He's going to go pick up 3 yards on the play. Looked like it could have been more. That's something that happens very often. There's a lot of running space, and somehow we do not pick up the first downs. And Amos, that should have been caught. Timmy Flanagan getting unfortunate on that one. That should have been a first down. Instead, we will punt the ball, and South Alabama will take over on their own side of the field on this one. And they're going to stay on their side of the field as LaDamian Webb picks up 7 yards on that rush as he was caught up in the traffic. Now Bradley back to pass, and he's going to find Jalen Wayne. He's going to pick up 9 yards on that one. First down for South Alabama. Now into Oswego territory, sending their wide receiver in motion. Bradley back to pass. He's going to have all the time, but he's going to run with this one. That is a pancake block on that one. Carter Bradley going to pick up 24 yards on that run. Man, their blocking against our team is comical at times. That looks like a block in the back, and that is going to be called. Boyson is not going to get that touchdown on that pass, and now South Alabama will be taking that back. Now we're looking at a 2nd down and 2 on this one, and LaDamian Webb's going to find some space, and Ostrander's going to bring him down just short of that goal line. LaDamian Webb picking up another good run inside the 5-yard line, sending the tight end in motion, and Bradley's going to keep this one, and he is going to find the end zone. That is going to give them a 14-0 lead. Carter Bradley getting all the touchdowns while LaDamian Webb does all the hard work on the ground. Oswego ball next as South Alabama will kick this one off. This one is going to be returned by Obi Hopkins just at the 2-yard line. He's going to find that's some space. This is a good return here, and he's going to take that out to 40 yards on that return. That will set them up on their own 43-yard line. Hopefully, Oswego can get a good drive on this one, and that's not going to be a good start. Cortez Jaquez is going to lose 2 on the play. 3rd down and 12 now. They need to be better at winning first downs, and Marcelo Mobley's going to keep that one, and he's going to go only pick up 2 yards on the play, setting up 4th down and 10 as we are now outside of the first quarter. South Alabama ball. Bradley, that's all the time you could ever want in the world, and Boyson's going to find some space, and he's going to be shoved out of bounds after picking up 48 yards on that play, putting them into Oswego's 30-yard line. Carter Bradley had all day to throw that ball, and Boyson found that wide open space to really utilize and eat up a bunch of yards. Bradley out to Wayne on this one, and Wayne is going to finally be caught, and he is going to run and gain 18 yards on that quick wide receiver screen. Carter Bradley's going to go chuck it deep into the end zone, and that is not going to be caught. They will not find a wide receiver on that one. 2nd down and 10 for South Alabama. Carter Bradley nowhere to go, and that is going to be a sack. Credited with the sack on that one, Ricardo Booth picking up the sack on that one. That could have been a good run for Carter Bradley. It was a good decision. Ricardo Booth able to break off of that block and able to bring him down. Big time stop on that one. 3rd down and 12. Let's see if Oswego can force a field goal here. Carter Bradley back to pass, and that is going to be picked off. Marvin Rose, our freaking hero, is going to pick that one off, and he's going to try and return it. Probably a bit ill-advised, but is going to be saved with a touchback on that one. Oswego will take the ball at the 20-yard line. Marvin Rose, a hero from games previous when we had no quarterbacks, he comes up with that pick, and Cortez Jacques is going to be tripped up and lose 6 yards on that play. Marcelo Mobley, he's going to find Devin Fontaine. That is a good reception on that one, right up the seam. That is a great play for Oswego. Found a good spot on that one and able to pick up 34 yards. Bit of a trickery because that was Mobley in the game to make that pass. Now 1st and 10 and Marcelo Mobley, he's going to go find some space. That is a good rush for 18 yards, the longest rush on the day. That is a good run for them. Now 1st and 10 into the South Alabama territory, and Obi Hopkins is going to go pick up 7 yards. Fantastic run by him as he also fights and picks up 7 on the play. Approaching 4 minutes left in this second quarter, and Mobley, he could have pitched it, but he's going to keep it and lose 2 yards on the play. 3rd down and 5 inside the South Alabama 30, and Blake crosses go nowhere on that one. Poor blocking on that one, or just really good defense by Coleman on that one. Who's to know? It's hard to know with this team. And Timmy Flanagan's got no time on that one. He's going to be sacked. That's going to be a turnover on downs, and South Alabama is going to pick up the ball at their own 40-yard line as the drive stalls for Oswego after a good couple of chunk plays. So now we got about 2 minutes left in the quarter and the half, and LaDamian Webb is going to rush and set up a 3rd and 4 on this one. Under 2 minutes to go, and Bradley's going to find Wayne. Again, 13-yard reception on that one. Could have been a stop, but is not going to happen. 1st down and 10 for South Alabama as they are now into Oswego territory. Boyson's going to find a little bit of space there and going to try and make something happen, but not able to, picking up 6 yards on the play. Clock is continuing to run. Nope, South Alabama calls the timeout. Minute and a half left in the half. South Alabama, Carter Bradley back to pass. He's going to find LaDamian Webb, and he is going to be tackled just as he reaches past the 1st down line, and that is going to be a gain of 5 yards on the play. Carter Bradley back to pass, and he's fantastic catch by Colin Lacey. That is a great play by Lacey on that one, and that is going to be a touchdown for South Alabama. It felt like pretty good defense on that one, but an even better catch from Carter Bradley and Lacey on that one. 21-0 for South Alabama. Oswego still has a shot. Obi Hopkins back to returns, hoping to redo what he did on the last one, and that is not going to happen, picking up 21 yards on the return. Minute and 10, might just take it to half on this one, and it appears to be that. Obi Hopkins picking up a 1-yard rush on that one, and they are going to concede to the half. Fantastic play by Oswego so far right now on the defensive side with a 21-point deficit going into half. That is not something that happens very often with this Oswego team, but we do know that playing offense is very difficult for this team. The teams are just too good on the defensive end, and it's just tough to, when you're running the ball all the time, to have blocks. Now in this one, we are getting pretty good rushes so far. Hopefully that trend can continue through the half. We are losing a bunch of yards because of sacks, so that does decrease our rushing numbers quite a bit. We do have that one pass that was for 34 yards, but we are doing pretty well. So the rushing yards, I would say we are doing much better than the 27 that is listed on there, just because we do get pretty good runs, but those sacks really do kill us. And that's another fun stat that is happening here. South Alabama has more passing yards than rushing yards. That is not very common. Now Lacey is going to receive the ball on this one, pick it up on his own 5, and nobody's going to touch him before he runs 35 yards and takes it to their own 40-yard line. Now LaDamian Webb is going to kick this one, and he's going to be tripped up by his own lineman. He could have taken that to the house after the safety is pancaked blocked on that one. And this time, going to shove off the tackler, and is going to be tripped up from behind on that one. The tallest guy on the field able to make the stop on that one. South Alabama rolling so far. Now Avery is going to receive the handoff, and he's just going to run right past the Oswego defense. He stuck out the arm just in case he needed to, but did not need any of it. Just ran right past everybody on that one. Nobody stops him. 28-0 lead for South Alabama. Fantastic start for them after the halftime. Now we got Bryson Hill is going to return this one from his own 1-yard line. Find a little bit of space there. 30-yard return for him on that one. That is a pretty good return for them. That's something that has been happening quite a bit more so far in this game, is pretty good returns. That's not a good start to the drive with a 3-yard loss, setting up a bad situation. And Marcelo Mobley is going to be brought down for the sack on that one, losing 12 yards total on this drive after having such a pretty good offensive drive in the last half. And Banks is going to return this one, catching it on the fly. He read the scouting report, and Pierre is going to do that rugby style, and he's going to just pick it up and take it inside the goal line. First and goal for South Alabama, and now second and goal, and Jalen Wayne is going to find the end zone on that one. Carter Bradley getting his second passing touchdown on the day. Jalen Wayne getting his first touchdown on the day. LaDamian Webb, the running back, still hasn't scored a touchdown. Avery, the backup, did, and Carter Bradley's got a bunch. But LaDamian Webb has no touchdowns on the day. Second down and 17. Not a great start. Obi Hopkins is going to recover almost all of it on that rush. 6-yard run for him. Third and 11 as we approach 2.5 left. Marcelo Mobley going to keep this one, keeping it inside. He's going to rush for 7 yards, setting up a pretty nice 4th and 4. And Oswego is going to go for it here to try and pick this 4th down up. Nowhere to go. Blake Cross is going to juke out the South Alabama safety on that one, and is going to pick up 19 yards on the play. Slow Cross is going to pick it up anyways. Obi Hopkins is going to rush for this one. He's going to go pick up 6 yards on that run. 20 yards for him on the day with only 8 rushes. 3rd and 4 now as we are approaching the end of the third quarter. And Marcelo Mobley's going to keep this one. He had the space. But just isn't quick enough to break away. 4th and 2 now. Second time they are going for it on... Oh my goodness. Second time they went for it on this drive. And that was a flip to Cortez Jacquez on that one. And they're going to pick up the first down. That was some flip. But it's 4th down, so you might as well go for it. And now Jacquez is going to pick up nothing on that one as the first play of the 4th quarter. Now 2nd down and 10 on this one. Marcelo Mobley's going to hand that ball off to Obi Hopkins, and that's going nowhere as well. 0 yards. It looked like he had a little bit of space that was going to work, but that was shut down quickly on that one. Now 3rd down and 10. Need to pick up a couple of yards on this one. Another rush for this one. Marcelo Mobley is going to hand that ball off to Blake Cross, and he's got this head of steam as he catches it in stride, picking up 14 yards, and more importantly, that first down. So now we're going to get a pass here, and Marcelo Mobley is going to give that one off to Blake Cross, and he's going to lose yards on that one. Tried to switch it up just a little bit as they've run the ball most of the plays on that drive. Now setting up a harder 2nd down and 11, and that is a good rush by Marcelo Mobley. he had blockers and he just sat right behind them to pick up those 7 yards. 3rd and 4 as we are now approaching 4 minutes left in the game. Obi Hopkins trying to go pick up that 3rd down and is going to be shut down, picking up nothing, setting up 4th down and 4. Oswego is going to go for it again, and this time Timmy Flanagan is not going to pick up the 1st down for them. That is going to be a turnover on downs, but they did eat up a lot of time, and that drive did look nice. 3rd time was not the charm on that drive. Now LaDamian Webb's going to get a chance to take this one, and it looks like he's going to get his touchdown on the day. He has done the work. He has worked hard, and he's going to go pick up a 71-yard touchdown run for him. That is going to pad his rushing yards on the day. I feel like Oswego has done a very good job of controlling him on the day. Now Marcelo Mobley's going to take that one, and he is going to take that one into South Alabama territory. Great run by him. Now Timmy Flanagan in the game. He's going to hand that ball off to Obi Hopkins. He's going to lose 2 yards as we are just about winding up the game. Timmy Flanagan keeping this one, handing it off to Blake Cross. He's had some pretty good luck on the pitches, and they are going to only pick up 1 yard. And this looks to be the last play of the game, and Obi Hopkins is going to be shut down for a loss of 2. And that will be the end of the game on this one, as South Alabama will take a 42-0 win on that one. For a Tier 4 team, South Alabama really, for a Tier 4 team, they did look like a Tier 4 team, but for a team that was really fighting for promotion, they really didn't look all that super strong. I was expecting a little bit better from them, but we were really able to kind of shut down this team. I felt like they had more passing yards than they did rushing yards, although this last run by LaDamian Webb is probably going to push them over. That was a long run, their longest run of the day, really. We were able to shut that down pretty easily, I would say. But just like normal, our offense really struggles a lot. It's just difficult to try and run the ball when you're expecting your 20 overall linemen to be able to stop anybody on their defensive line. But I mean, I would say that our defense did fairly well. We held the team that is probably going to be promoted from Tier 4 to only 42 points on us. I mean, we did that against Nebraska Kearney as well. Just barely under for Nebraska Kearney. Like we've been able to show that we can kind of play with these Tier 4 teams. So I'm really excited to see what happens on the next season. And there it is, 218 yards rushing. That will push them over the passing yards for them on the day. So now we're going to be looking at a little bit of the recruiting. We will be talking about the conference standings at the end, near the end. But we did pick up 3 recruits on this one. Tyler Wright, he should be really helpful. A 70 run block. That's going to be really nice for us. We also picked up Jamal Keys, middle linebacker. Probably a bit better than what we have right now. So we'll take basically anything. Reggie Brown, 79 impact blocking with C's on pass blocking and run blocking. I'll take that. We will take whatever we can at this point. So we're looking pretty good in terms of budget. We're going to be using 6.38, so we are going to be decreasing a little bit because of those recruits that we did get staying under budget for the week. So we are setting up to be very nice in the end of the season here. So like I said, we're going to be talking about the relegation and promotion battles that are going to be going on near the end of the week. We're going to take a quick look at these season stats here, and we're going to advance the week and kind of give a little bit of an update on how the season has been going amongst the entire NCAA. It's been pretty exciting so far. I mean, it's one of the things that we can really look at with this Oswego team because, I mean, we're probably not going to win a game. We got Notre Dame coming up next. I mean, I know that they lost to Navy, but Navy's a pretty good team and a tough team to really battle up against. We are going to be having a bye week next week, so that will probably set up us to be really nice to have right before we go up and take on Notre Dame in our last money game of the year. So top 25 here, looking at that. There's a couple of upsets that really kind of move teams around. Notre Dame's going to drop all the way out from 8. That's crazy. Didn't expect to see that from 8 to nothing just because you lost to Navy. I mean, I know that they're tier 4, so that's a big loss for them. That Joplin loss is really making the Big Ten title race looking for promotion race looking really interesting. Like I said, we'll take a look at that. We won't take a huge look at them because they do still have 3 more games to go in conference. So a lot of stuff will be open. So looking a little bit at these bowl projections to kind of see how the rest of the NCAA has been doing. And now we'll take a quick look at the conference standings. We'll first look at the Tier 4 and the Independents because they kind of really set up the rest of the pyramid being at the base. So we'll look there at the Independents, and South Alabama looks to be the team that is going to advance out of Tier 4. Although with that big win against Notre Dame, Navy is looking to really be the second favorite to advance if South Alabama slips up. The other team that also has a shot is New Mexico out of the West. So now we'll look at the West Coast, West Side regions in the West and the Central. So we're going to start at Tier 1 and move our way down. So starting at the Pac-12, the teams that are fighting off relegation are Stanford and Arizona. Stanford has played all their conference games and will need Arizona to lose all of their games to avoid relegation to the Mountain West because of their big blowout win against them at the beginning of the season. So now looking at the Big 12 in the Central, the bottom teams of the Big 12 and the teams fighting off relegation are Nebraska and Houston. Nebraska has 1 game left in conference, and it is against the top dogs, Oklahoma. Nebraska also lost to Houston already, so they need to win that game even for the chance to stay as low as those odds really are for them. At the top, it's already been decided that Texas and Oklahoma are going to be playing each other for the conference title as Texas beat Oklahoma State this week. So now looking at the Tier 2 teams of these regions, starting with the Mountain West, a lot of these teams here still have 3 games to play, so the promotion and relegation is really still up for grabs, as a lot of games still need to be played. But the favorites to move up to the Pac-12 and Tier 1 is Farmington, San Jose State, and Cal. And then for the chance of relegation, the teams that are trying to avoid that chance are Billings and Air Force. Both of these teams still have to play each other, which could really set up who is going to have the chance of being relegated. So now looking at the Big Ten out of the Central, it's really tough to decide what's going on, just like in the Mountain West, because there's a lot of games still to be played, and there just really isn't a definitive promotion favorite other than UTEP, Wisconsin, and Joplin. And there's not really a relegation favorite either. Like I said, there's a lot of games still to be played by everyone, with most of them still having 3 to go, and we'll just see how this next week goes and the weeks after that. And like I've said in comments in past videos, this is basically a Power 5 conference, and it really does show with how close all of the teams are. So now moving into Tier 3, into the Conference USA of these 2 regions. So as a reminder for who gets promoted out of Tier 3, the winners of each division will play in the conference championship game, and the winner of that game will decide who gets promoted. So looking at the Conference USA West side, that will be moving up to the Mountain West if they win. The division really has a good battle right now with UNLV and Boise State. UNLV is the favorite and can beat Boise State in their last game of the season to guarantee the division title. And if Boise were to win that game, that very well could be the team that moves up. But first, Boise State needs to get past Rapid City next week. So now looking at the central region of the Conference USA, Louisiana seems to be the team that will be playing for a chance at promotion with only 2 games left in their schedule, and all they have to do is win one of them. So now moving into the last 2 regions, the Southeast and the Northeast regions, we're going to start at Tier 1, just like we did on the last ones. So starting with the SEC, the teams that are playing to stay away from being relegated are Auburn, NC State, and UCF. Auburn has 1 game in conference left, which is against UCF. With a loss, they will be relegated to the American Conference in Tier 2. If they were to win, NC State would then be the team to be relegated because they would have losses to both UCF and Auburn. And the teams that will be playing for the conference title are North Carolina and Alabama. So now the other Tier 1 conference, the ACC, there are 4 teams that are in danger of being relegated in this one. Northwestern is in the worst spot with only 1 game left, which is against a good Michigan State team. They have also lost to all the teams at the bottom, so they really need to pick up this win against Michigan State next week, or else they will be relegated to the MAC. For the conference championship game, Ohio State faces West Virginia to seal that first place spot in the division, and the winner of this division will be facing Michigan, who won their division by beating Penn State. So now moving on to the Tier 2 conferences, starting in the Southeast with the American Conference. And right now, this conference is really up in the air at the moment on both sides of the promotion and relegation sides, since most still have 3 or 2 games left, just like the rest of the Tier 2 teams. So now Duke and Georgia Tech are up at the top and will play each other in week 15, which really could determine who is going to be at the top and be promoted to the SEC. But you also can't really forget about Virginia Tech, who's also beaten Duke, but they have also lost to Georgia Tech. So keep an eye on that one, and time will only tell who's going to be promoted. And then at the bottom, Virginia and Memphis do not look to be in a good spot. Virginia did beat Memphis though, but with so many games still left to be played, it's tough to really determine who's going to be going down or up at this moment. So now moving to the other Tier 2 conference in the MAC in the Northeast, Purdue seems to be the favorite of being promoted with only 1 loss on their conference record and being ranked 6th with only 2 games to go, while all the other teams that are fighting for promotion still need to play 3 games. At the bottom, the teams with a shot at being relegated to Tier 3 are Marshall and Eastern Michigan. Each have 3 games to go, so anything could still happen between those 2. So now moving on to the Tier 3 conferences for these 2 regions, the Sun Belt. And in the Southeast side, there's really no clear favorite to who's going to be moving up in the Southeast right now. Pretty much every team besides Troy has a shot of being that number 1 team. These next 2 weeks should be really exciting because of how close it is. At the bottom, Troy is in the most danger of moving down with their 4 losses, but USF, Georgia State, and Old Dominion all have legitimate shots also of moving down. And all of this is because South Alabama, being in that Southeast region, really does look like they're going to be the team that's going to be moving up without any slip-ups in the last bit of their season. So now looking at the Northeast, I need to change the name of this division. In the Northeast division, Toledo will be the team playing for the chance of being promoted by playing that Southeast Division winner. And at the bottom, if Navy were to be promoted and South Alabama were to slip up, Akron would be that team that is going to be moving down. So that will do it for this week. Next week we get a bye. We'll go a little bit more in depth into the conference standings in that video next week. But we got one game left in the Oswego season against Notre Dame in 2 weeks.